how should I dress for the interview? Because when you do so, it depends on your job and companies, especially with a lot of these new companies, these startup companies who are very casual. They may say, "Yeah, man, just come in as you are." Because if you come in suit and tie for that particular position, they may say, "Well, he or she may not be right for the particular culture that we're trying to convey."
Fit.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so it's okay to ask, "Hey, what is the dress attire for this interview?" A lot of people that should be common sense. But again, some companies, more conservative, traditional companies, yes, you automatically know that you need to do suit and tie. But again, like I said, with a lot of companies, I've read articles and even participated in interviews, they want to see you relaxed. Now, not too relaxed.
Exactly.
Not too relaxed.
Exactly. And be cognizant of the field that you're in. If you're in a tech field, I talked about the software developers and those types. Truth be told, you may have a VP who's just simply in a T-shirt and jeans. And if you come in there in a full suit with tie, pocket square, shoes on point, you know what? You actually may not even get that job. You may have already outdressed that job before you even say a word.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Because, again, like you said, that culture fit, will this person be able to fit in? So, yes, asking those questions are relevant. I can tell you that even the CEO of my company, he's not a tie guy. Now, he may wear a button down every now and then, but he's very much just a shirt and jeans type of person, a shirt and khakis type of person. So, it really depends on the field that you're in. If you're in financial services, you're in government, politics, things like that, then you're going to want to wear a full suit if you're a male, or you want to wear a nice conservative outfit if you're a young lady. So, the standards do change quite a bit. So, but again, it's attention to detail. And I think when you ask those questions like that, that gets people's attention because it shows that you're paying attention. You can adapt. You can fit in as needed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, with that is how you carry yourselves or you present. I've seen people come in interviews, ladies with low-cut blouses and short shorts, or guys come in with basketball shorts and Nike slides, basically the male hoe outfit for a professional position. And, of course, I'm going to look and say, no, I think we're going to keep looking at this particular time. So just those little things, ask these questions and be prepared as possible.
Absolutely. And then, once you've done all that, and here's the biggest thing. You may go through this process several times, and I always tell people, don't get discouraged. You may apply for 20 jobs, and if you get a call back from 2 of those, can honestly consider that a win. Just simply because the environment that we're in, there are a lot of competitive candidates, especially for some of the better jobs that are out there. So don't look at it as a reflection of, well, I'm not good enough. Well, don't look at it like that. You always have to be positive. Encourage yourself. Talk to people who will encourage you, and just make sure you let somebody know, hey, I may need some help on this, or hey, this isn't going as I expected, and just be ready to receive advice. A lot of times, especially for the folks who care about you, they may give you advice, and it may be things that you don't necessarily want to hear, but they're things that you need to hear. But those same people will also be your biggest supporters, and just understand that sometimes the job process can take a long time. Yeah. Even with me, the running joke is, man, he'll have a new job, man, in about a year.
That ain't no running down joke. That's fact. Since we've started this podcast, you've had 2 different positions. Where's the lie?
Don't judge me.
No judgment. I'm actually admiration. I applaud you. That's we talk a lot off air about these different things because Frank has the tendency to get these jobs. True, it may change, but the jobs he do get, they're no low level jobs. He get 5 jobs. So I'm like, he needs to follow this and settle it, and that's what we're trying to do this show, to give you a little bit of insight about that. But in all seriousness, you have to be able to reinvent yourself and do these different things. One tip I'm gonna tell y'all that a lot of people will be like, well, why would you do that? But I promise you it'll make sense. Even if you're in a position that you're very happy with, you don't see things going on, still going to interviews.
Yes.
Because you want to be interview ready just in case. What I tell people is, hey, even if you know you don't want this job, it's good to stay in interview ready shape. Just like your body, when you're working out, you're getting in shape, you're trying to build up that stamina and endurance and things like that. You want to be ready at all costs, so even if you're particularly happy at your particular job or role, if there's an opportunity to you to look at a job and just to test, stick your toe in the water and see what's out there, take these interviews. It's not wasting it is wasting our time, but don't tell us that. But for you personally, you just got to be in interview ready shape. Again, you may know in your head, I want that job, but just the fact that you're in that mentality and that you can interview at the drop of a dime, it's good practice to have, because no matter how good you are, if you've been in your role for 5 or 10 years, and that was the last time you interview, trust me, when you go on that first interview after all that time, it's going to be very bumpy.
Yes, indeed.
So I strongly encourage you, even if you are particularly happy in your particular roles, get interview practice anyway.
Yeah, and it helps because here's the thing, too, because like you said, you never know when that great opportunity may come up. Richard Branson, the guy who was I guess he was the originator of Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Airlines, that entire brand. He is a famed entrepreneur, and one of the quotes that I used to put on Facebook all the time was, he would say, if you see an opportunity, you're not sure if you can do the job, take it anyway, and then learn how to do it later. And that's not the exact quote, but the sentiment is pretty much the same. Because a lot of times, these positions, while they have certain skill sets that they want, they have, certain things that they want you to have as far as basic criteria. A lot of jobs you still have to train for.
Yeah.
And what they are looking for are transferable skills, which is something I brought up before. So if you have the ability to do A, B, and C, and that's possibly a fit for that particular organization, that organization may actually take a chance on you, and you have the opportunity to learn and do something different. And I think people are really afraid to, honestly, well, there's no probably to it. They are afraid to try out positions that are outside of their field or outside of their realm of expertise. But honestly, you have to look at what you've done in the totality of your career and sell that. If you're a hard worker, you're a great listener. You have, just like with the young lady who worked for me. If I hadn't talked to her, she would have just been a bookkeeper and just a part-time person on the phones who happened to be really good at spreadsheets. Now she's a business intelligence analyst. There are so many other people who can transition careers, but they're afraid to take that next step because, for whatever reason, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. We're just conditioned to not take risk when it comes to our career. We're probably more likely to take a risk, honestly, for a trip or a vacation or even dinner than we will with our careers. And it's a fragile thing at times because, sometimes the wrong move may not work out. But then there's also an equal possibility that it may work out. And so you really have to just kind of believe in yourself. And it's what I talk about when we talk about the whole bigger picture. And we say, never let your job or your career define who you are. Believe in what you are, believe in who you are, believe in what you can bring to an organization. Always understanding, what you have, what you bring to the table is valuable. And it's your job as a job seeker to show that potential employer that, yes, I can absolutely do this, and this is what I can bring to the table for you.
Yeah.
And, and it's crazy, too, because there are even a lot of people, I've been in that camp, I've talked about entrepreneurship, quite a bit, and, starting a business and everything else. And what I will also tell folks there is entrepreneurship isn't for everybody.
So, in other words, you're saying if you 38, it's a little bit too late to try to break in to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Man,
I know that's going to piss a lot of people off, but that's true.
Hey, you know what? Especially down here, man. We got folks in their 40s still trying to rap. I'm like, you know what? I mean, I'm never going to say don't pursue your dream.
Right.
But I also say, man, be realistic about it.
Yeah.
And always have a plan B. No matter what it is that you do, even if plan A seems like it may be going well, always have that plan B as a backup no matter what, because you just never know.
Which is why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, the thing is, and again, I always joke about it, these different jobs and things like that. I think, even with me, I feel confident in my ability to go get a job, but I can also honestly admit that I'm at a point in my life where I'm not necessarily 100% sure what it is that I want to do. I know what I can bring to the table. I know what to do in order to just get that money, but at the same time, I don't even think I've found my ultimate passion other than helping people find jobs. I've never been just extremely passionate about everything. I've always had, I guess you could say, career ADD, ADHD. It's crazy, but at the same time, I'm very fortunate to have had the opportunities that I've had, because a lot of the things that we've talked about during the show, I've been doing, in terms of networking, getting out there and things like that. But at the same time, I'm not J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, I believe she was the Harry Potter author. She didn't write that until she was in her 40s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Single mother. I think she was at a coffee shop, and she just, she did have a plan that she was doing for, but, she was doing that writing on the side. Yeah. But she was able to cultivate that into, what you see and read today. So, again, I did make the joke about breaking into rapping at 40 or whatever. But like I said, if you're doing other things, it's okay to have a passion project. It may blow out, it may pop off, so to speak. But just putting all your eggs in that basket, it's going to be harder and harder to do that.
Yeah. And you know what, man? I'm gonna keep it 100, man. You're not gonna be no fucking rapper, man. Once you hit 38. Fuck that.
I was trying to see how long we was going to go to keep the show clean, but obviously we didn't get too far. but he's stating facts.
Yeah, I'm true to myself if nothing else. But, fine. You never know what your passion is going to be. You never know what's going to happen. And we would talk about, understanding the bigger picture. You really have to understand yourself, learn who you are, and figure out what it is that you like, what motivates you, what it is that you're doing. Because, without that, I think, it's hard to find a career. It's hard to find what it is that you're going to be passionate about if you don't really have a true sense of self behind you.
Yeah. So, like I said, y'all, we've gave y'all a lot of different things that we've spoke about our personal experiences. Again, we know not everyone is going to have the same experience with things like that. But if you know somebody who should listen to this type of stuff, or you want to give advice to, hey, share this podcast, share this show with them. You out there, please subscribe to it so that, we don't have to keep telling you, hey, the show is up. You can automatically, pull it out. It's summertime. You may be traveling. If you just want the shows to build up and play them all at once, do so. But you know what I'm saying? We just never know what words we're going to say that's going to affect anybody, which is why we talk and, do things like that.
Absolutely. And so with that, always understand that there may be a better way to do things. And with that, we're going to ride out, man. Mr. James Ingram. We're going to find a better way to do it. Man, have a good one. We will see you on the next episode. Peace.
Coming down.